Today, I'm going to chat with Aviva Copaken, who I recently met at a singles pool party here in LA. Now, she's told me that she's done some crazy things for love, and I want to see what that entails. Hi, Aviva. It's so good to see you.
Yeah, it's so good to see you again,
Thank you
too.
so much for doing the show. You know, it's so funny. We met a few weeks ago, and I love how we met.
Yeah.
So I was speaking at a singles pool party in Sherman Oaks, and there were like 100 people there, and there was a pool in the backyard, and you just jumped in the pool.
Absolutely. I'm like a 5-year-old. You give me a pool, I will get in there so quick. I don't care who's there.
You dove right in while
Oh, yeah.
everybody else is like mingling and eating burgers. And I said, I've got to know this girl. Like something about your energy. Like I was like, she dives right in.
Yes.
And then we started talking, and I was like, you dove into a lot of things in your life. When it comes to the search for love, I feel like you'll do anything.
Oh, 100%. I will go anywhere for love. I will do anything to find the right person. It's no bounds.
So tell me right now, are you seeing somebody? What's going on in your life?
No.
What are you up to?
Sure. So definitely not seeing anyone right now. I just ended something with somebody who is still a great person. We're still good friends, but definitely we're not meant to be together long term. But he is wonderful. So there were a lot of red flags. I can list some. He knows it. I've told him. I won't say his name, I guess, to protect him. But so he the first night we hung out, we went to a dinner at a restaurant, and he took my phone and said, put it away, and shoved it in my purse. And I was like, we've had one date. That's not okay.
I can't believe he went there.
Yeah, boundaries crossed.
Okay.
And then after the dinner, he metaphorically shit on it. He was like, what is this? Are they like a cult? What's going on? Because it was like a bunch of Jews who get together once a week or whatever, and we meet each other randomly, and he just felt like there were weird motives.
Okay.
And then like he also is like, there's just a lot of things. He also like told a girl at the dinner afterwards that she was really cute. I was like, that's weird.
Ooh.
So definitely a lot of red flags. Great guy, good man, but not for me long term.
Okay, so I mean, I don't know if you know, I'm fairly new to LA. I moved here from New York almost a year ago.
Yeah.
And I'm just curious how singles like you, like, how do you meet these guys? Like, have you been on apps? Like, what do you do here in LA?
So I have an interesting story with that too. So he actually wrote me on Instagram randomly, but said we had talked in 2018. I don't remember that, but it's possible. So
that's also a line.
So random. But otherwise, I was on the apps. When I went to visit my sister in Israel recently, I got banned from the apps because an Israeli. All of them.
Okay.
Like every single one. They're all a sister company apparently. Like
okay.
So,
what did you do to get banned?
I was talking to this guy in Israel on Bumble, and he started being disgusting, like guys are sometimes, talking about wanting to fuck me right away and showing me his dick and all these things. So
this was in Israel?
Oh yeah,
that's so funny. That was my experience.
Yeah, they're all
Israel on apps. They go right to it.
100%.
I praise that the Israelis. They go there.
Yeah,
these guys were just like, let's get to the point. Come over. Okay.
It's crazy. No courtship. So I am an East Coaster, and I'm blunt, and I sort of told him to kill himself.
Okay. Oh, and then he turned you in.
Yes, he did. Now I understand it was definitely over the line, but I was so grossed out. I was just pissed. Over the line, yes. But they right away banned me, lifetime ban. Not a warning, not anything, not even asking me my side of the story. So they banned me from all the apps. Now I've gotten myself back on Hinge through weird circumstances.
What'd you do? Okay.
So I have a good friend, and I told her about the situation, and she was like, do you want to have my Hinge? I'm seeing somebody, I don't need it. You could log in on mine, change all the stuff to you, and like we'll see if they won't kick you off again. And this is the craziest part. So fuck you, Hinge. I changed it, put all my pictures back up, did all the things.
Okay.
Still up. It's not been banned again. So I don't understand why mine was banned on mine and not on hers, but as me. It's very weird. But I'm back on Hinge. And the only thing that's annoying is like they have her age and they can't change it unless you do a license, and I'm too afraid to.
Is she older than you?
Yeah. By 6 years.
I was so younger.
I know. I would love it. I would have gone with it if it was like a couple years, but so I put up a picture saying I'm younger, but I don't think anyone's seeing it.
Well, you know what's funny? I actually run apps. Maybe I'm going to get banned if I say this now. I run apps as part of my job as a dating coach as someone else.
Yeah.
So I'm on them, but as a client.
Right.
And basically, I'm still doing exactly what they would be doing. I'm trying to help them get dates as themselves. I try to mock their language, and I guess that goes against the terms, but I'm still on it. I haven't gotten caught.
That's amazing.
But I have been I'm lifetime banned from Tinder.
Oh my God.
Which is crazy because that's the one app that I have only been on as myself and no one else. And it's how I actually met my boyfriend who you met.
Yeah.
I met him on Tinder.
That's so funny.
And then they somehow banned me at some point that I don't know why or what I did. Are you, and you have a crazy Tinder story, right?
Yes, I do.
Speaking of Tinder?
Yes, I do. And I actually have another thing I'll tell you about the banning, which is insane. I'll tell you that first.
Yeah.
So I met another girl, and she was like aghast that I was banned because she told me a guy literally wrote her on Bumble and said, I'm going to rape you. And he got a warning, but is still on the platform, and I was banned. So I'm like, there's an inequality here, not fair, and just give me a warning. Like, give me a warning. I'll never do it again. I'm sorry for what I did, but like, it's
no one has ever gotten back to me about bans. So I would like to know, like, what. There's nothing you can do about it.
No,
I had contacted Tinder back in the day and just wanted to know why.
Yeah, it's insane.
They don't talk to you. They don't tell you. There's no path to redemption.
No, it's insane. If you Google it, there's millions of women that have had. Yeah, it's crazy.
And
somebody should do something about this.
Or then a new app will have to be made to get these people on. We should make a new app that's like, hey, the people who've been banned.
Yeah, come join
So you were banned from home. Yeah, what's your crazy tip? Because you hinted at something when we met.
So I started talking to a guy who looked like Trevor Noah, so very much my type.
That's a good type.
Yeah, he's very handsome, who lived in South Africa. And we started talking for 3 months, and I thought, fell for each other through talking every single day and FaceTiming and all these beautiful things.
Okay.
And we said, I love you. So he was like, I really want you to visit me. So I decided I was going to do it. I have relatives there. My mom was from South Africa, so it was like,
good. Okay.
A little less scary. So I was like, let's do it. I booked a ticket. I flew all the way across the world.
Did you pay for it?
Of course, yeah.
Too. Okay.
I mean, this is a poor South African man. So I paid for a hotel and everything. Okay. So he comes to the airport and meets me, and everything seems great. Everything's nice. We get back to the hotel, and he says to me, I've actually been talking to a local girl. I think I want to pursue her instead. I was like, you've got to be shitting me. Oh my God.
And you went halfway around the world.
Halfway around the world, took off vacation, paid $1,000.
He told you immediately?
Yeah, immediately. And then I spent the rest of the trip crying at the hotel, and they were bringing me milkshakes to try and cheer me up. And what's interesting is he actually kept trying to talk to me the whole trip too, though. He was like, I still want to hang out with you while you're here. And I was like, no. And what's funny is I took a picture of me kissing another guy in South Africa, put it up, and he got really mad. And I was like, why? You're talking to somebody else. Why are you getting mad?
Whoa, you kissed. you came there. You did not lose any time.
Oh, no. I will not, waste my time on one man. No.
Power to it. Okay.
Yeah. So, but I will go. Yeah, I will go anywhere if I really have a possibility. That guy sucked, but...
Now, you had just had FaceTimes.
Yeah.
Well, you know what I like that you did is that you took accountability. Like you said, I'm going to book my own flight.
Yeah.
So there was no real pressure
on him.
That way.
Yeah.
So you had it's kind of like a plan B.
100%.
Right?
I saw my relatives.
You still in the back of your head you weren't like, this is 100%
ruined. No. I went on a safari. I did things. I went to Table Mountain. I was still gonna have a good time as much as I could. Yeah.
I've had clients, oh my gosh, that it's heartbreaking. I had one girl give up her apartment. She found a sublet. Somebody moved into her place. She quit her job and she went to Israel for somebody, and then when it landed, literally, he waited till she landed and he said, and they had already been dating and met in person, but she gave up her life for this guy.
That's crazy.
It is very risky. And I kind of like you did this plan B approach. I don't know if I talked about this when we met. I, on a whim a year ago, I went to Thailand and Vietnam with a guy that I had just met. A matchmaker had set me up with him, and it was our third date. And we said, let's just go away for a full month. So we were gone, and I just said, you might as well.
Yeah.
Because to me, it's the double approach dating now. It's hell, right?
It's really bad.
And to me, it's not even fun anymore. So at least, let's try to make it fun.
Yeah.
So if we're going to do something for love, I love what you did. You went to South Africa, but you turned it into a trip.
100%. That's amazing. I didn't hear that story.
But that's what I believe. You know what? Even if this doesn't work out, which it didn't for good reason.
Yeah.
It's worth it to have experiences. We're not just going to the same coffee shop with a guy 100%. We met on Bumble, having a 30-minute 2-minute convo.
Yeah.
Like, we're doing something that at least we can say is an experience.
Do you know what's so funny?
Incredible,
so
you did it.
I do it with everything. So there was like a singles chaotic pool party thrown the other day, and
another one.
Yes, another. I love pool parties. I'm telling you, I'm a
Yeah.
sucker for pool. And I knew it was kind of gonna not really be my scene, to be honest. First of all, it was a Hotel Ziggy, which is very sceney, you know, and like I knew it was gonna be every Instagram model and all these people, and it was. But there was also other people that were really cool and down to earth. But I was like, listen, no matter what, even if I meet no one at this party, I get to swim, I get to have a pool, I get to meet nice girls maybe. Like, I'm going to have fun no matter what. So that's
I picked that up at my pool party.
Yeah.
And you were wearing this hot, this hot bathing suit. I loved it. It was like cut down low. I was like, this girl is just living life. We're in the pool within 5 minutes of that party
100%.
starting.
Yeah.
And I was like, we have got to know each other.
You know, I don't know if I told you this, but it's an interesting thing. I've had such a journey. So I actually used to be 296 pounds. I was really big my whole life, and then I had a gastric sleeve surgery 9 years ago.
Wow.
And I lost over 130, and I've kept it off.
As a person.
Yeah, it was like
That's
insane.
incredible.
Yeah. So
you know, a lot of people don't know it about me. I lost 50 pounds when I was 18, and that was actually a third of my body weight.
Yeah.
I'm little.
I
was like 160 pounds.
Wow.
My whole life, really, up until like age 18, and it is very transformative.
Yeah.
I'm so glad you told me. I had no idea.
Yeah.
And I think it's a big reason why, like, we might take risks now.
Yeah.
And we're kind of living our best life later. So I feel like you're doing things now. Like, you feel really free.
100%.
Tell me about that process. Like, when you were you dating? Did you have a relationship when you were 296 pounds?
Never.
Never.
Well, no, that's not true.
I mean, I'm sure.
Yeah, I had a couple, but they were horrible men. They took advantage of me. They knew, like, at that point, I had no self-esteem.
I was just going to say, were you that? Yes.
Yeah. So I took whatever scraps I could find, you know? And so I had one guy who, like, made me pay for our rent to buy myself, our utilities. He would pay nothing. He would take my car from me and leave me stranded. And I was just like, thank you, babe. Like, I was such a bitch. Like, it was so stupid. So I had relationships, but they were awful. And the men took advantage of the fact that, like, I was fat.
What did you tell yourself on the inside? Like, when you're dating them, did you say, like, at least?
Yeah, at least I have a boyfriend and I'm getting experience. I mean, he sometimes is nice to me, you know? So, yeah, it was terrible. And now, it's so funny because now I do have self-esteem. I think I look great. I've worked really hard. I know that the effort I've had to put in to get here. And so I'm like, I'm not just going to hand it off to anybody, and not anyone's going to have it. Like, I will not put up with any crap. I will not. Yeah, it's just not anymore. No.
How long? So for me, it was such a long process. It wasn't instant. And I went through ups and downs. What's funny is when I first lost the weight, I dated whoever came my way.
100%.
Like, any guys I wouldn't even talk to now. They were awful. They were mean.
Yeah.
And then I got, this is so funny, I got really full of myself. So then came this process, like, after being like, I also realized I had the power of choice. And I was like, wait, I can actually date guys that I want. And then I started getting really full of it. And I was dressing hoochie, and like, my mom called those the worst years that I was in college. She was like, you were so obnoxious. You got so full of it. Then I balanced out.
Yeah.
And then, of course, I saw the repercussions of being that type of a person and what I was attracting. And it was such a long process. It was like ups and downs to get confident. I feel like we were a late bloomer.
100%.
Were you big, like, in high school, middle school?
Yeah, I was literally since I was 5 years old. Yeah.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, the whole life. Yeah, I had resigned myself to, like, okay, I'm never going to be pretty. I'm never going to have anyone. I'm never going to be able to wear a bikini. Like, I had resigned myself to that. And then, to be honest, it came out of a little bit of a tragedy. So I lost a brother 9 years ago to undiagnosed diabetes. And
diabetes?
Yeah.
How old was he?
He was 39.
Jeez.
And he had actually gone to a doctor and told him he thought he had diabetes, and this guy was a piece of shit. He's actually, I'll give a Cliff Notes version. The guy is actually now in jail because he has raped like 10 women, and he also was sued by the federal government for billing patients for things he never did to them, so like really a bad doctor. But my brother went to him, and he didn't test him for diabetes, even though he said he thought he had it. So my brother lived for 5 days with a blood sugar of over 500, which is not good. Like, a normal number is like 1 to 200 max. And basically went to a diabetic coma and died. And I found him. And I was like, well, there's the alternative. Like, if I don't get my shit together, it's dying at 39 on an apartment floor. So
was he overweight too?
Yeah.
And
he wasn't always, but in his later years, he gained like a lot of weight.
Awful. And you walked in?
Well, so I tried to get in
him?
and I couldn't get in. So I called the cops to do a welfare check and they came in and found him. Yeah.
And 39 years old.
Yeah. He never got to get married, never got to have kids, none of it. It was so sad.
I'm so sorry. And then that's a huge turning point for you.
Yeah. That was
huge.
it. Yeah. I was like, that's
so that led you to do the gastric sleeve, which that's surgical, right? It's fairly invasive. This is the days, this is pre-Ozempic days, right? Where like people resorted to
Yes, yeah.
You didn't just do,
no, so it was a process.
Yeah,
so I had to go and do a lot of testing. I had to do 5 weeks total back to back to back of liquid diet. I'm talking no solids, like sugar-free popsicles, clear broth, nothing else. Like it was rough. I had to lose a certain percentage of my weight, all of that. I had to work out, I had to go to psychology things,
Of course,
all
it's
of
a
it.
whole.
Yeah.
And how long do you think it took to
I would say probably at least 6 to 8 months, maybe longer, because we had to reschedule appointments at times. Like it was a long process. Yeah. And then I had it done laparoscopically. But I was out of the hospital within like days and working out within a week and going.
But then it's so weird because our identity on the inside, like we're still the fat kid, right?
Exactly.
And then it has to catch up and like merge.
Yeah.
And then I remember, and tell me what it was like for you. I remember like when I had to like get naked for the first time, and my body was small and thin, but I had stretch marks everywhere, and there was just a major adjustment.
Yeah.
What's funny, I shouldn't say this to all my Jewish relatives out there. I had a little tattoo when I was 18, and then I lost the 50 pounds, and the tattoo moved to the middle of nowhere on my body. It went from my hip to like my back and the middle. I ended up getting rid of it, but it was hilarious. And I remember when I was getting like naked for the first time, I was like, I have to explain this and explain like stretch marks and stuff. So like, how did you feel? Like I wanted the lights off when I was like having sex after the weight loss. Like there's an adjustment. And now you said you're confident. You literally got in a bathing suit, jumped in the pool,
100%.
So what was it like when you like first like ripped off your clothes?
Yeah. It was definitely scary. I still felt like the 300-pound girl, so it was very scary. And I definitely was like, I remember guys did want the lights on because they thought I looked so good. And I was like, no, we really don't need to. I still was in that mindset. And it's funny, the biggest, coolest thing that I've kind of had to adjustment is I've had a few guys when we were having sex pick me up. Which was like for me the scariest thing though, because I was like I felt like I'm like huge and can't be picked
I'm gonna
up.
break this.
Yeah, and they were like, no, you're fine. It was such a mind fuck to do it. It was like crazy.
Good for you. It was your first time on top. Were you like, I'm crushing them
100%.
or what?
No, 100%. Yeah, I was like, I don't know about this, and they were like, you're good. Like keep going. And it was very weird because I always thought I should just be under and like let's not do that. But it's been fun, and now I kind of like it.
No, that's what. No, you seem like I like that you've moved to that place. And it took me a long time too, and I got there. And I mean, we actually did it. Do you find that the types of men you're dating now, have you learned from those lessons? Like, are you?
Yeah, I would say that like red flags I'm recognizing early on, and I'm not like indulging them longer. Like before, I'd be like, well, maybe this can be changed, or maybe he's just this way for this period. But no, like now I'm like, ooh, no, I've got too much to offer to be like dealing with stuff that's really out of control. And it's funny because like for me, red flags are not like, oh, he drives a crummy car or has a weird job or whatever. Not the stuff like that, but it's like big things like you're
crummy
not
car.
funny, well, because I know in LA there's a lot of like superficial kind of stuff.
No, this is new for me, so you're giving me little tidbits.
Oh,
okay?
100%.
No,
like I've heard from guys saying like women care about how much money I make, what kind of car I drive, all these things, my height. I'm like, if you're funny and you're cute, I don't care if you're 5'2", honestly. Like, I'll do it.
Nice.
Yeah. Like, Kevin Hart is hot. He's short.
Course,
like, I'm down. I just want you to be, like, a good person, make me laugh, and be, like, outgoing and adventurous. Like, those are things that, like, I care about. So,
That's beautiful. So what are the issues in LA? Like, I'm still new. I'm still learning on behalf of my clients everywhere. I'm hearing a lot about the superficiality.
Yeah. So men don't want to go on real dates. They don't want to invest in conversations. They don't want to like actually date you or actually get to know you. They are liars. They are cheaters. It's a lot of craziness. When I first moved here, I slept with a guy and I found out the next day he was married with kids.
And where'd you move here from? You said you're an East Coaster. Oh, from Maryland. And how long have you been here now?
It'll be 2 years in September. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, awesome. So you're pretty new too.
Yeah, still
Good.
new.
So, but you're still ahead of me, so you can help me help others. I want to help the Angelinos. I want to help everybody. It's very different than New York.
It is.
Same problems exist in big cities, but it's still very different.
Yeah. I've dated in DC. I've dated in New York, and I'm telling you, this is the worst place.
You think this is the worst?
Yeah, I really do. I mean, I'm still in it, and I will never give up.
Yeah, so why are you here and you're not giving up?
Well, I love LA. I really do. I have dreamed of living here my whole life. I think the beaches are beautiful. The weather's so nice. So I love it here. I feel like this is where I was always meant to be. And I feel like there's got to be hidden gems. Like, there's got to be hidden gems in the city. There's got to be really good men.
It just takes one. That's what they say.
Exactly.
You know, in our matchmakers. 100%. That's really what we believe.
I just want one, and I'm out of the game. Like, it's good. So
there could be one here with the same thought, being frustrated with the same LA frustrations, and then they're waiting for you too.
I hope so. Find me, please, God.
Oh yeah. So you're single now.
Yes, very single and ready to find my person.
What do you think you've learned? What's your number one lesson from everything? I mean, I'm thinking of your trip to South Africa. Okay, I'm thinking about your weight loss. I'm thinking about what you went through with your brother.
Yeah.
I mean, these are giant things.
Yeah.
What do you think are the biggest love lessons you've had?
I think a couple things. One is, I think you have to be best friends, honestly. Like, my parents had a beautiful 56-year marriage. Unfortunately, my mom passed away in October, but they were...
Oh, God, your family. I'm so sorry you've had such loss. 56 years is incredible.
Incredible. Like, it's such an example. And they were best friends. Like, my dad hated being a day away from her. Like, they loved going to the movies together and going to concerts. They traveled together. Like, they were best friends. And it was such an incredible example. And so I think, and that's what you're left with. Like, I try to tell people, you're not going to be hot when you're 70s. You're not going to be, you know, whatever. What you're left with is your humor and your personality and who you are. So, like, be best friends or try, you know, that's an important thing, I think. And I think also just, like, being able to have fun together, really, like, have the same activities and hobbies. You can have some different ones too, but I think you have to have a core thing of things that you like to do together. I think that's huge. And also just being loyal and honest, always honest. Like, I feel like you can work through anything as long as you talk through it and be respectful when you're talking through it, you know? That's the biggest thing.
That's amazing. I'm like, you know what? I can hire you as a dating coach with me. Because those are things that I've been trying to promote. We need to be having fun also with ourselves. Alone. We should be having fun in our own lives. And then when we have a partner, they should have what I consider as a value add. Like, what do they add to our already fulfilling life?
Yes, exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
And to me, finding marriage is like your parents. 56 years. My parents actually, their 40th anniversary is on Monday.
Congratulations.
So I'm flying to go visit them.
Aww.
And I love sharing their story all the time because I think our generation and the younger ones, we can all be learning from these beautiful stories in which it was just simpler. It was a simpler time. And I'm trying to figure out, why was it different for them, different for us? And what's happening? I mean, my parents met, and I'm going to ask you how your parents met too, but my parents met at, they're going to kill me for saying this, they met at Denny's, the restaurant.
So cute.
They were working the night shift. They make me say this disclaimer every time. They were pursuing advanced degrees at the time while they were working the night shift. But they fell in love at Denny's, which I think is one of the sweetest things. We have never really eaten there as a family ever since.
You should be sponsored.
I know, it's I'm like, this is a place of magic, clearly, in our family. We love breakfast food still, so maybe that's what it is. But
you should tell them now. Maybe they'll give you
and they were, you know what, they were best friends too, and they've kind of told me, you know, don't just look at a partner as just fulfilling like the role of a partner. They should literally just be your friend. And I like that. How did your parents meet?
So it's actually a really crazy story. So my dad is fully an American guy. He was born and raised in Kansas City, Missouri. My mom was born and raised in South Africa so she was 23. So he was in England for school. He went to the London School of Economics, very smart man. And then my mom was traveling with like a cousin or a friend or something, and they met on a bus, a double-decker bus, and he had a briefcase and some sticker, I think, of Tahiti or something like that. And my mom loved traveling, so she said, "Have you been there?" And he was like, "No, but I want to." And so they started chatting. And then he literally...
Opening line.
Oh my
I
God.
love it.
Yeah, it gets even
been
crazier.
there? It's so simple.
I know. It's amazing. It's smart man. I should start carrying traveling stickers.
That's it. Yeah.
So she was like, "I'm looking for housing around here, somewhere to stay maybe." And he was like, "I'm a student. Here's my number. If you ever need, help, give me a call." Got off the bus. 2 weeks later, he gets a call from his doorman. There's a Miss Green here to see you. Had no idea who it was, but he was like, send her on up. And it was my mom. And she was like, I was in the area and I remembered you. And long story short, they like started to fall in love, and 56 years, 4 kids.
That is so beautiful.
Yeah.
It's such a simple way to meet if we're just out and about and we're talking.
Yeah.
And you don't even have to have a Tahiti sticker.
No,
you don't even need to, like, we are a walking sticker.
Yeah.
Like, you know, you are, and you being on here, luckily, you are like, this is you. Hopefully people will see this and realize how incredible you are, because your energy in the room is that amazing.
Yeah.
What do you think's wrong with this generation? Not just LA, but what do you think in examining your parents' story? What do you think?
It's the shiny object syndrome is, first of all, I think that's a huge thing. Everyone's like, oh, there's so many options. You can swipe so many times on different people. So if there's a little thing that might annoy you or make you pause, you're like, maybe I should keep looking and see if there's someone that doesn't have this and doesn't have that. And it's a problem. Back then, like, if you wanted a girl, you had to put in effort. You had to call her house. You had to go and meet the parents sometimes.
Yeah.
Like, you really had to show you cared. And I think that is what's lacking. Effort and, like, too many choices, really. Yeah, and people are just, like, not willing to work on somebody if they're, like, semi not perfect. But nobody's perfect. That's the thing. Everybody has shit. You just have to find whose shit you can deal with. And that's
beautiful.
Yeah.
I actually read an article recently where they just said, find the person that annoys you the least.
Yeah.
And who has the baggage that you can deal with and merge with.
Yeah.
Now, what's your baggage damage? What is your stuff that if you were like, oh God, this would be my red flag.
Yeah.
What's yours?
I definitely have some childhood trauma stuff. I mean, I have amazing parents, but there is definitely stuff. I'll say it. Like, my dad is an amazing man. He is. And he's, grown a lot, but like, he used to be physically abusive, to be honest, when I was younger. And then he went to therapy.
And he did?
Yeah, he went to therapy. He realized his mistakes. And to be fair, he was born in 1939. He comes from like a different era.
Different generation. My dad, the way he dished out discipline is completely unacceptable
100%.
now.
Yeah. So his dad used to do stuff, and so he didn't know better, but my mom, the saint that she was, like, taught him and like got him under control, and then he went to therapy, and he's been an amazing father ever since.
Yeah, but that's so hard on you. Like that, we still have to cope with things like that from childhood. Later on.
100%.
Did it contribute to eating issues? How do you think you? Okay.
Yeah, that and something else
think?
that was like deeper definitely led to me emotionally eating. And then I'm happy to say this because they probably would know it. I have an aunt and uncle who are horrible. I hate them so fucking much. And ever since I was 5, they used to call me fat. They used to take food away from me. They used to humiliate me at family gatherings. That contributed as well. I was like, so I've had a lot.
I definitely believe eating and sex are like very much tied together.
Yeah.
Emotional eating and how it translates to our relationships and sex and everything. There's a very similar relationship, right?
Yeah.
That's crazy you went through all of that, and I'm sorry, and younger. That is like very, did your brother, you had one brother, the one you lost, or how many siblings do you have?
2 brothers and 1 sister, one passed, but so one brother still.
Were they affected too?
I'm sure of it. Yeah, they had stuff happen that I won't necessarily go into because it's their stuff. But they did
things that.
Yeah. So my one brother, he was very overweight, and then I love all my siblings, but like we all were overweight. Like, and still they are.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So there could be a tie there with the childhood stuff of everything that you went through.
Yeah, we were all very overweight. Like, nobody was skinny. So now I'm like the skinniest person in my family, which is weird, but like fun. But yeah.
How does this come out now, like with these relationships and dating? I mean, if you're saying that this is, you're like, whoa, I got trauma.
Yeah.
How do you talk about it? People ask me this all the time. How do we, and when do we talk about the things we've been through? Like, I don't think you just come out with that on a first date.
No, it's not a good look.
First episode of a podcast.
Yeah.
But when,
I honestly bring it up when I feel like there's actually potential for a future, and I'm like, okay, you've liked me enough. You've seen the fun side now. Mm-hmm. Now you need to know the whole picture. So I would say, like, I mean, timeline depends on, how fast you're going with the person, whatever. But like, I would say within like maybe 3 to 6 months, like that, you should start bringing up the stuff so they know and they can decide, this is stuff I love you for and respect, or maybe this is too much for me and I can't in the long run deal with it, But yeah, I definitely don't bring it up right away, but I do at some point, because also my traumas are part of what made me who I am. They made me the good person I am. They made me why I'm so empathetic to people.
The way you live, like you'll just pack up and go to South Africa. Like there's 100%. Something also very free about you. Yeah. Like I love that you seem like it doesn't stop you, but it's probably contributed.
Oh yeah,
to
for
making
sure.
you do all this.
It's a huge part of my personality. But like I will always fight for the underdog. I will always defend people that I think are being bullied. Like I won't tolerate any bullshit. Yeah.
It's in what I try to tell people now. How old are you?
I'm 38.
Oh, awesome. Yeah. So I just turned 39.
Oh, cool.
So that's cool. We're about the same. And what I try to tell people is once we get to a certain age, it's a little harder to meet someone, but it's better when you do because you've got to make all those pieces from the past. Like they need to come together and you got to merge and add value to each other's lives. Yeah. But the older we get, the more we're like
rigid.
Packing up. I know we've got stuff, right?
Yeah. 100%.
And so at this age, it's so funny. We're like the exact same age because that's what I have felt is the biggest difference. When I was in my 20s, I could date and get along with a billion.
Sure.
There was so many options, right? We could, and we just feel like we could try out a bunch of different types, and now we're like how much we've accumulated, they've accumulated, so two people being brought to the table. What are you looking for?
Yeah, so I don't actually have many deal breakers, but I will say the number one honestly is I would prefer someone who doesn't already have kids because I want to be first time parents together. I want to like experience that joy together, that journey. That's one that like I prefer, and also like the one that's stickly hard is not divorced. I would prefer not divorced, but also I'm at an age where that's difficult, so I'm more open to that one. But I want someone who's like very outgoing and friendly. Like I'm adventurous. I've gone skydiving. I love zip lining and parasailing.
You are.
Yeah, I do it all. Like I'm really fun. I love to travel. I've been to Jamaica and Mexico and the Bahamas and Israel and Uruguay and South Africa and like a million other places too. Someone who loves to travel, loves movies because I'm a huge movie girl. Like I wrote my college thesis on them.
Oh, good. You're in the right city for movie lovers. Okay.
Yeah. I love animals. I'm, the full-time dog walker. So someone who
you're full-time dog walker. That's what you do.
7 days a week. Yep.
Okay.
My only
do you walk any like crazy like celebrity dogs, crazy dog stories? Or?
I walk one celebrity's dog now. I don't want to put his name out because I don't want to get whatever, but I do have a celebrity client and he has 2 German Shepherds and they are a handful. I love them, but they are so hard. Oh, wow. And I do them for an hour every day, 5 days a week. So it's a lot. I'm like sweating balls by then.
Oh my God. I'm just loving that you do this for a living.
Yeah.
Like, you are full of love and fun. And do you see, this is me getting all curious about LA. How many of these people treat their dogs like humans? And what's the craziest thing you've done for a dog?
It's funny. I'm trying to think.
I've been asked to do.
I don't. I'm trying to think. I haven't actually had too many crazy things yet. Yeah. But what's funny? I used to do this in Maryland, and I had a client there once who had a oil painting of her dog. Like, swear to God, full like Mona Lisa type. Yeah. Okay. And I thought I'd see that more here. I haven't yet, but I just need to have more maybe celebrity clients.
Yeah, you're getting. It sounds like these 2 German Shepherds. This might be a male celebrity. So I'm thinking like you won't get the dressed up stroller.
Yeah, no, he's not. In fact, I found out today they're mostly working dogs, which I was like bummed about. I was like, they never go in the house. That's so sad. Like, I want to cuddle.
Do you have a dog?
No, I have a roommate who has a cat, and he's okay with dogs, but not like the greatest. So I don't, and I'm also so busy working that like I would be a bad dog mom if I did.
That's what I've heard about the dog walkers here. They're like, no, I don't even have one because I give it to other people.
Yeah, but I want to one day. I would die to have.
Would you let the dog be in your bed?
Yeah, that's actually
if you were with a dude, do you let it? This is a controversial question. So
it is.
I know you love dogs and you love men. What would you do?
So no, I want the dog in the bed. I put this on my dating profile actually. Like this is a like litmus
dog in the bed.
Yes, like I can understand maybe not during sex, obviously, but otherwise, they sleep in the bed. And if you don't want that, I don't know, for the same dog people, like
it's a big. So that's actually a big topic that people don't really talk about. I mean, this podcast is called Love Unleashed. It's actually my dog is in the logo.
Oh, cute.
Because I do believe that dogs are an important part. If they're an important part of your life, then comes the line of like, where do they fit in with your partner and sexually? And I am asked this all the time. Yeah. Should the dog be allowed in the bed in general, but also sexually? And so with me, my dog gets locked away during the time. It's a whole thing. He gets locked away during our intimacy.
That's a
but
bummer.
he's in the bed all
Sure.
the other time. He's
Yeah.
got to sleep and cuddle. So afterwards, I kind of have found a way to like train him to understand that it's not a punishment.
Sure.
We're locking him up, and then afterwards, I always give him like whipped cream. Like that's the treat.
That's
not just because I
nice.
already have the whipped cream out. Okay? That's not how I got the idea.
Yeah.
It's just that's his special treat. So you do. So that's like that'll be you think that locked away for intimacy.
Do you know
and
what's
then
funny?
Out.
I wouldn't say locked away
Ooh.
unless that was interesting
Nice,
you said that.
okay.
So I'm okay with the dog being in the room. I've actually
All right.
done this too.
Boy, you're
I used to
all
have
right.
a boyfriend who would like laugh. He was like, "Stop licking my ass." Like I think the dog wants.
I think guys kind of like it. And they don't want to admit it.
No, 100%.
Oh, I've had dogs in the bed, and then they're like, "It's okay, he can stay." But dogs want to get in. They're not just.
They do. So I mean, I don't think locked away. I don't like the idea of locked away,
so
but in the room is
That's
fine.
so great.
Yeah.
That is so great.
Yeah.
This is okay.
But I would respect a guy if he was like, "Listen, I'm really a guy." Then I'd figure it out. But my personally, no, I don't need them.
That's so
locked
funny.
away.
I have a cat. It's all black cat, and she is the opposite of the dog. Like she doesn't want to jump in. She just sits and stares from like 2 feet away, and she's all black.
Yeah.
And some guys have been like, I don't mean anything against your cat, but like I'm a little freaked out right now.
So
and then I'm like, are you being a cat racist? Because if my cat wasn't all black, would you have been scared? And they're like, that's a good point.
Yeah, that's
You know?
funny. I feel like just watching is probably a little creepier. I don't know.
When you take these dogs out, does it tell you anything about like the guy's life? If you're walking the dog, like, do you pick up things? You see a lot of homes, right?
Yes.
So you're like going into people's homes.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's funny because even with the cats too. So like I had a guy who was a cat owner and like he had the place a mess and I was like shocked. I was like, why? I mean, I know you're a dude, but you have a pet. Like you've got to take care of it better.
You have seen a
Yeah, I've seen everything. Have you
ever walked in on anybody when you're like
Like
your
having
dog's
sex?
sitting? Yeah, or just anything. Have you just like walked in and you're like, they're naked, they're like
no,
doing
they're usually
all
not
types
home.
of stuff?
No, they're usually
Okay.
not home. So
Good,
I haven't-
good.
Yeah. But I found things in drawers, of course, when I like accidentally because I'm looking for like the bags or I'm looking for utensils if I'm doing a dog.
What have you found in a drawer?
I found condoms. I found dildos. I found creams. I found everything
Creams.
you could think of.
Interesting.
Yeah.
In drawers where
Yes.
you're just like, I'm just
Lube.
looking for the waist,
Yes,
waist
exactly.
bags for the
I'm
dog.
so sorry. Yeah, and I hope there's not camera. Yeah, crazy stuff. But I have never had sex except for one owner's home. But I was back in Maryland.
Oh my God, and someone
so
else's
normally
home.
I'm respectful. Normally I'm very, very respectful. But I did
You're
have
so
an
funny.
owner back in Maryland that I used to sit sometimes for weeks on
Yeah,
end.
did you house it? Like,
Yeah,
did
I
you
would
live there?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
okay,
So I
okay.
would stay there, and like I was like, and they were very rich, and it was a guest bedroom, and I was like, listen, it's my bed, like it's okay. And I would only have my boyfriend. I wouldn't have like men coming in and out.
All right, there you go.
So it was a boyfriend, but yeah, I did. That was the only owner I've ever done that at.
And did you let their dog participate?
She came in and watched. I didn't lock her away. I
Okay.
loved her, so I was like, she's gonna be in the room.
Okay.
But
I think, you could probably start a whole thing, like a job that's like more than just a dog sitter, right? Like you're like, this is amazing. I love your life is really, really interesting.
Oh yeah, I'm never boring. That is one thing I will tell people, and they pick up on it. I'm never a boring.
Don't
girl.
you think people are boring these days?
Yes,
I feel
there
like
are. Yeah.
While people are dating, I'm like, work on yourself while you're single and make yourself interesting.
Yeah.
And then be interested
Yes.
in someone else. Like it's a double-edged sword,
Yeah.
right? Like be interesting, of
Yeah,
course.
sure. Yeah.
But I also think that people should be interested
100%.
in each other. Like I'm already beyond fascinated with like everything you've done. Like in your life. What do you think you want people to know about you that maybe it's like you're itching to get out, but you can't do it on a first date, or like what are the things that you want to get out into the world?
I would say honestly, like just give me a chance and get to know me. Like I promise we will have a great time. I'm so loving. I am somebody who like is ride or die pretty quickly for anybody, like guy, girl. If I think you're a good person, yes, dog, 100%. I will ride for you for life, and I will ride for you right away. Like it doesn't take a lot. I just need to know you're a good person. person. Yeah. And I think that a lot of guys get scared by the fact that I know what I want. Like, I am somebody who, I know what I want, I know the kind of person I want, and I'm not trying to like necessarily casually sleep around. Like, I've been there, done that, had fun, but like, I'm 38. I would love to get married and have kids. And you know, I think a lot of times guys are like, get freaked out by that and think like, I'm trying to make them do it tomorrow. And I'm like, no, I still need to know if I like you too. I need to know if like we mesh, but I hope that we have the same goal in mind, you know?
Yeah. I've had a lot of my male clients who tell me, I want a woman who knows what she wants. And then I find out what they mean is that they just want you to be able to decide what to order for dinner.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, that's what you think a woman wants?
Yeah.
Is it Thai or pizza tonight? And I'm like, do they really want it? Do they really want a woman that knows what she wants, or is it intimidating?
Yeah, I think it's intimidating, and I wish there was a man that was like mature enough to be like, I love that you know what you want. I'm on the same page, and I'm for it. Like, let's go on this journey and see if we can make it happen together.
So where are you finding them now, besides at singles pool parties and back on this secret Hinge account through your friend who's older than you, but that sucks.
Yeah.
So where else are you looking for love?
So I've been going to just a lot of meetups. I go to meetups like from meetup.com. Anything that's like a beach meetup or like an activity.
You go on your own.
Yeah, right? I go on my own to everything.
That is amazing. I wish that people could hear that. Like,
hear it again.
You can do it.
Yeah, it's really not as scary. It really is not. It's so much fun. You'll make girlfriends, which is always so much fun. It's easier for a guy to come up to you if you're by yourself than with your group of people. And you can just have fun. You can leave when you want to. You can go when you want to. I love doing stuff on my own. Like, it's the best.
That's also one of my number one piece of advice. How I got into the dating industry 15 years ago, I became a wing woman, a professional wing woman, because people told me they don't want to go to things by themselves. And if they just have somebody with them. So that's how I got started. But then I would force my clients to go off by themselves, or I would, to the point where I would say, I have to go to the bathroom. And they'd be like, I'll come with you. I was like, no, you can't. And then I leave them because I want you to push past that discomfort about being alone. And I love that you do that. Because there's nothing like, what's the most embarrassing thing that's happened to you by yourself out? Like,
nothing.
Nothing's been, it's
nothing.
always worth it, right?
Yeah, no, nothing. I think the worst thing is just I've been rejected. I'm like, all right, cool, I'll go find a girl to talk to, like, whatever.
Rejection is, I once had a client who she so didn't care about rejection that I was actually worried about her. I was like, you are laughing it off. And she said, I was born thinking rejection is God's protection. I'm not meant to be with that guy, his loss, and I carried that with me forever. Rejection is God's protection. There's a reason why that person is not for you. Maybe they know the reason. Maybe some higher being knows the reason, but like, it's better that you try. To me, the worst thing I've had clients ask me too is that, like, what's the worst that can happen? It's rejection, right? I said, no, the worst that can happen is that you're wasting your time wondering if something's working out or not, or if you should ask somebody out. You just wasted weeks. I have clients come to me where they've had a crush on somebody. We're talking about 50-year-old men, right? And they're like, I've had a crush on this girl for months. And I'm like, and you're what are you scared of? Because rejection is not the scary part.
Do you know what's funny? So losing my brother, losing my mom, I definitely had a lesson of like, life is too short. It goes by so fast, faster than you realize. I would rather try something out and be rejected and be like, at least I know and I tried, than wonder, was that my love? Like 100%. I'll go up to people at like randomly at a party or at a street and be like, you have the most beautiful eyes. I think you're so cute.
I love that.
And look, if they say thank you very much, like whatever, move on. Cool. At least I tried and they know how I interested, you know? I don't want to wonder. I don't want to wonder.
That's why I tell everybody that's the worst part. That's time wasted and you're just going to kick yourself. I love what you just said about complimenting somebody. I tell people this, that you don't have to have an objective even. You can just give somebody a compliment and go. There was, once I was in New York and I remember I was on the subway and a guy just came up to me and he said, I just wanted to give you a compliment. And I forgot even what he said. And he goes, and that's it. And then he took off.
That's so sweet.
And there was no way for him to have given me that awkward, and I just think we should not be so scared. Like, don't you wish that even now people could meet the way your parents did?
I do. I really do. Like, it's funny. My sister actually met her husband on a bus too. So I like,
bus?
Yeah, my niece.
Now, a bus in LA, is that safe?
No, they met in Israel. So
I met in Israel. Bus is here. I've been told.
No, publishers. Yeah, I know. I won't do it here. But in Israel, they met, and it was also like 28 years ago. So like much better. Or whatever.
Okay, but still, when you on a bus, I'm like, I jumped on a bus here in LA to come here to this studio when I first moved here.
Oh, no.
And they asked me, how'd you get here? I was like, oh, I took the bus, because in New York, we
Sure.
take the bus. They're like, don't take the bus.
No, don't do that anymore. Yeah.
So I was like, oh, I can't find love on the bus. You can't find anything good on the
Yeah.
bus.
Don't do the train either. It's not great.
Oh, the train, yeah.
No,
So
yeah.
I learned through, thanks to other LA residents kind of telling me
Yeah.
before it got too late.
Yeah, I think meeting people on the beach is good, but yeah, I would
Yeah.
love to meet someone organically. Like that's the dream, you know.
What would be the line? What would you say? Like, what do you think somebody
me to
should say
them?
to you? What do you think somebody should say to you that wouldn't creep you out?
Yeah.
That you feel like, yeah.
I would say you have the
Best
most
thing.
beautiful smile and your energy seems
compliment.
so amazing. And
compliment.
Like,
A
yes, or
genuine-
your laugh. Yeah, just something like that. Nothing about my body, just something about like my aura would be great, or who I am, or I saw you reading a book and it's so interesting, like I would love to know about it, or you know, just something like beautiful like that. I would love
When
that.
people ask me the same thing, well, I would love to meet somebody in person too, but I don't even know what to say. I say, if you were married,
Yeah.
think of something that you would say that's like almost safe
Yeah.
to say. Nothing creepy and
Yeah.
overly sexual.
Yeah.
Like, I even say you can ask a piece of advice.
Yeah.
Like really quick, like, do you think that these two things match?
Yeah.
Like, and you know, guy in a blazer and shirt, you think that this matches? Like, just ask a girl a simple question that would have been safe to ask if you were married or
I was at
taken.
the whole Hollywood Bowl the other night, and I saw a guy eyeing a thing, and I was like, "You should try it. That sandwich looks amazing." And he was like, "Oh, thank you so much." Yeah.
So to
simple
me,
stuff.
advice,
Yeah.
or a compliment
Yeah.
that's not overly sexual, not
Sure.
about a body.
Yeah.
I mean, I think people have a lot to learn from you.
Thank
I
you.
really, really loved having you, and I'm so glad that I sensed something about you that day. You just dove in the pool. I was like, this girl's magic.
Thank you.
And I want to thank you for being here. Now tell people how to find you,
Yeah.
because you're single, and
Yes.
clearly I just think that how could somebody not want to date you? You're so much fun.
much.
How can
Yeah.
they find you?
The best thing and the best way to get to know me, because my personality is very much shown on there, is Instagram. Livin'
great.
with no G, Livin' Aviva Loca 2. Some bitch stole the one.
Living
so-
Aviva Loca.
Yeah.
'cause-
Livin'
all right,
Aviva
great.
Loca 2.
And
Yeah.
I'll tag you in our episode
Yeah,
so
that'd
people
be
can
great.
find you.
Yes.
But you are awesome. Thank you so much
Thank
for
you so
coming here.
much. It was a pleasure. I loved it. It was amazing.
Yay. Thank you.
Thank you for listening or watching the show. If you'd like to be featured in a new episode of the podcast, you can send us an email. It's loveunleashed@jltv.tv, or just shoot me a message on Instagram. It's @loveunleashed_Erin Davis.